right, so we like to go ahead and get started. Our first topic for tonight is don't fulfill wifely duties for a boyfriend. So I often hear and see these self-proclaimed, relationship coaches and just people, random people on the internet, who give advice, right? The internet has given a voice to many, many people, and lots of people give advice. And whether it's good or bad, they are giving advice. And what I often hear is that women should not fulfill wifely duties for a boyfriend. And I wanted to talk about that. What do you all think that means? One, and is it good advice? Who likes to go first?
I'll go first.
All right, thank you, Darren. Go ahead.
All right, so I don't agree with that. To a certain extent, I do, but it's like a tryout. So I don't know what you're capable of unless you show me something. You got to show me something. Like try out for a basketball team. You can't go in there and not make a shot and then you go get on the team, right? So you got to show me not necessarily like the things. Well, yeah, wifely duties as far as like what you expect a wife to do, as far as like if you want your wife to cook, you want your wife to be a little clean. Like if you went and visit her house, you got to see that she knows how to keep a clean house, right? I'm not necessarily talking about things she has to do for me, but things that I expect a wife to do just because she's my wife. And like I don't really see, I don't really have like wifely duties. I don't run a household like that. Like my wife doesn't have wifely duties. She just does what she's good at. I do what I'm good at. So as far as wifely duties, it goes as far as just let me know you can be a presentable, respectable woman, and that's all I really need, But you have to show me that. You just can't be ratchet and then expect me to know that you're going to transform as soon as I put a ring on your finger, and all of a sudden you have these standards and everything like that. So I do think it's something that a woman has to show you to let you know that she is wifely material, but I don't think it's something that she has to specifically do for me as far as catering to me or coming cooking at my house or cleaning my house or doing things for me that I need. But I have to see that she knows how to do things that I would expect a woman to do that I'm with, so I know that I won't be carrying all the weight, you know.
Okay. All right. So, what do you all think? What do you all think? Thank you, Darwin. I like that. And of course, I have some follow up questions, but I'll save those. What do you think, Mrs. Strobo? What do you think?
So I actually do believe that there are separate, I believe in roles and duties to a certain extent. I think that setting boundaries and being assertive helps people know where they stand in relationships. So there are certain things that I think that people should steer away from doing while they're dating versus if they were in a committed, say engaged, looking at marriage, that stage. That's what I truly believe. Because see, if I start treating you like husband, like on date 3, then you're gonna start making assumptions, okay, about, you might be the only person I'm dating, okay, which could be false. Okay. Or you might assume, if I'm not clear with my intentions, based on what I do, if I'm just all over the place, then you might assume that you're deeper in my life than what you are. So I do tell people, and this kind of goes back to what I said before about learning how to date, because I think certain people, they think because they cohabit, you know what I'm trying to say. They're living together, or they share a bill or two, or they go out on the weekends. They assume they're in a relationship with somebody. And I've seen situations where people are living together. The girl thinks they're in a relationship. The guy thinks we living with each other for convenience. This helps us save money, but I'm dating other people. You're not my exclusive person. So I do think that there is a such thing as being wifely while dating, and you should steer away from it. You know, um, I just do, to a certain extent. To a certain extent.
To a certain extent. Okay.
Hmm.
What do you think, Raven? What do you think? Or Mrs. Understanding? I
No,
always
it's okay. I go by both. I want to go back to something Ms. Jovo always says about managing your expectations. It sounded like what Darwin was listing was like characteristics or like character traits, things like that. But when I thought about duty, I thought about, what you want your marriage in particular to look like. So if you guys want to be a power couple, then you seeing her, I guess, being a powerful career driven woman would be something you would look for inside of that woman. And then I guess whatever duties you guys have regarding what you think a marriage would be whatever duties she would, have. But I think it goes along with managing your expectations and dating with intention, because if you guys come together and say, look, I plan to be married in 5 years, we both on the same plan, blah, 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 then you guys, I wouldn't say it doesn't matter when you're doing these wifely duties, but if you guys feel like y'all on the same plan, y'all moving together, y'all moving one accord, whether it be as a power couple or the whole alpha and omega, what is it, alpha and submissive, whatever. If it's going to be that, long as you guys are on one accord, have at it. But I don't know. I think other than like going over, and if you guys aren't living together, going over and cooking and cleaning or paying each other's bills at your house, that would be like crossing a line, I think. But then again, it would depend on you all's relationship. So, all right, spotlight. But no, that's what I'm sorry. Date with intention, manage your expectations. You have to communicate. I know plenty of couples that want to be power couples and their marriage looks different than someone else's marriage. So, if the power couple idea is that you guys share a bill before y'all get married and see how that goes, hey, if that's what works for y'all, that's what works for y'all. But wifely duties varies amongst the wife.
Okay. So it varies amongst the wife, not the wife and the husband.
Well, yeah, of course, but it said wifely duties. I was gonna switch the genders, but I didn't know if you were trying to like pick one specific side. But I don't think men should do husbandly duties or whatever before they become a husband. So this whole idea that, oh, well, you need to pay a bill before we go out, that's bananas. That doesn't make any sense. I mean, if that's how y'all get down, sorry, my bad. I'll take my mouth off of it. But if not, that would be something I consider a husband duty that you shouldn't do before you guys become a husband. So I don't know.
Yeah, I asked that I asked that for a specific reason, but I'll get to that later. Go ahead, Cannon. What do you think?
Yeah, I think that, well, for one, we have to be clear that not everyone wants to get married or views marriage as the ultimate commitment. So for those people, there's a different set of rules. But for people who do place value on marriage or have a distinction between those two things, like dating a boyfriend versus having a husband or whatever, I think that they're absolutely, you say wifely duties, but I'll just say mostly I think you shouldn't be making sacrifices for someone who hasn't made a distinct commitment to you in that way. Like, I think you shouldn't. I think you should. If that person fits into your life, that's fine. Y'all going about, but don't start rearranging your life and making all these sacrifices and doing all of these things for someone who hasn't made that commitment to you. Is just what I would say. Like, no, that doesn't make any sense.
Okay. So when you say commitment, what do you mean?
I mean, like someone who hasn't, shown at least an intention to marry, right? Like maybe you guys are engaged or something like that. That's what I say. It kind of depends on what the criteria is. But people who believe in like marriage, like, oh, okay, this is my husband, like that, then no, until y'all get married, at least, because then some people have to move across country to be together, different things like that. And I think you should only do that in those instances, not for a boyfriend or a girlfriend type situation.
So what about people who are dating and you really don't know if you want to be married to this woman because she hasn't shown you any of these abilities to be a wife, or she hasn't done anything to say that or to show that she has some wifely qualities.
I mean, I guess the question would be, what are wifely duties? That's like the question. Like, what exactly are wifely duties? I would need.
And what time frame are we in the relationship? Like, how long y'all been dating?
Yeah.
You know, what month?
Well, you know, I think everybody does this. I think everybody tests people that they date without letting the person know that they testing them, right? And I think through those tests, that's when you find out if I should take the next step into making this a committed relationship or what. I don't know what the test.
Like sending a friend over there to see if he gonna go, or like, because I can't get with that.
Some dudes do creepy stuff like that. I don't do stuff like that.
But that is creepy.
I didn't know what you mean by test.
Yeah, some dudes have tried to sick their homeboys on their girl to see if she'll go. That happens. That's real, right? But that's not a test that I'm talking about. I'm talking about if you just say you're on the phone or you at her house and you just mention that you're hungry or something like that, and if she offers like, you want me to make you something to eat, that's something that a man say to see how catering she is to let him know, like, okay, I got a woman that, you know,
wifely duties are catering.
Most people,
I got a rebuttal to that though. Maybe she the female who loved to cook and she cook for her friends when they come over and say, I'm hungry. Okay, let me fix you some nachos, girl, or something.
Well, you know, I guess
that's why I say we need a clear definition on what wifely duties are.
It's not a clear definition. It varies from person to person. Yeah. So that's why I say each person, I think they do this. They see what the other person will do for them without like giving them a list. Like I'm not about to give you a list and be like, this is what I want, because a manipulator will take that list and do exactly what's on the list to get what they want. So I think a person that's really serious about dating, they just go into it and they just give their little subtle test to see like a person's reaction, how a person reacts to certain things. And if they get the reaction they're looking for, then I think, and they're comfortable with, then I think they might be like, okay, you know what? I'll take her a little bit more serious, you know, because the reaction she gave me is the reactions that I need, the reactions that made me feel good. So now I'll in return, I'll start giving a little bit more. And I think both parties, I don't know if both parties do it, but I know I did it. And I know a lot of guys say they do it too. I don't know if women actually do that, or do y'all just go in blindly and just be like, okay, it's been 3 months. Let's go. But I would give a little test, you know, just not no outrageous stuff like Raven said.
Well, I'll put it this way. I think we have to kind of look at the word duty, right? Duty means something like you're beholden to, responsible for, or something like that. And so you have to ask the question, are there things that people are responsible for or have a duty to their wife or husband that they are not responsible for when they aren't married?
I just look for the duty to make me happy. That's all I want, the duty to make me happy.
But I think that like some of you were hinting at, you know, everybody sees wife as something different. You know, I can't speak for men because I'm not a man, but from what I understand, most of them do want a nurturing woman who can take care of the home. She can cook, she can clean, she will be catering. They want a woman that, you know, will raise their children well, a woman who will be appreciative. Like, these are certain qualities that I think men look for in a wife. And I think that, you know, to your point, Cannon, of course, you should be kind and nurturing, and you should be patient, and you should be loyal to everybody that you have a relationship with, right? If this is a person that you've allowed in your life, you should be that way. But I think what's happening is, you know, like, let's say a man is dating a woman, he's going to be looking for those qualities, you know. And personally, I think you really don't have to test a woman, because if you're really dating her and you're spending time with her, you will see who she is, right? And if that's who she really is, it's going to manifest in itself one way or the other.
Well,
you know?
Well, so everybody don't have all day to be waiting. So, you know, I'm not about to
Why
wait.
does this sound like the what do you bring to the table conversation? Because it sounds like we're going right back to how can you benefit my life woman.